Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. This is a Retiree, Episode 6, silversingles.com. Yes, my first post-retirement dating effort bombed when I said I could use a little space. But my appetite was whetted. And I thought instead of a random meeting, I would go online. silversingles.com. I warned myself to beware of dishonest profiles and swore that my pics and text would be saintly. That's both ethical and practical. Practical because deceptions would, probably sooner than later, come back to bite me. That picture must be 10 years old. But what should I say about myself? After writing umpteen drafts, I settled on, I'm 70 and don't look younger, but am healthy. I'm kind of a middle-of-the-road guy. I don't go to protests, but don't vote for extremists on the left nor right. I'm a mushy moderate, and that includes my tastes. Restaurants? I prefer local favorites over frou-frous. Movies? I like those I can understand, not cryptic, hyper-intellectual, postmodernist art films. My favorite actor is Leslie Manville, especially in Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. I like taking walks, but I'll never be a race walker. I like to listen and to talk, especially when I can be around 50-50 with the person I'm talking with. I'm looking for a nice, warm woman around my age, probably not a 10. She'd be in too much demand, but less than a 6 and I probably won't be able to sustain the attraction. So what do you think? That worked pretty well. I'm sure I would have gotten more responses had I painted myself as a 10 and a barrel of laughs. But by being honest, I think I filtered in reasonable prospects and filtered out, for example, materialistic party girls. Rather than wait for responses, I did the reaching out. That avoided being tempted to say yes to someone marginal merely because I was flattered that she, as the jargon goes, swept right. My next challenge was what to wear. I must have tried on a dozen combinations of shirt, sweater, and pants, even though I'd first be meeting on Zoom. I remember some movie in which the news anchor wore a jacket and tie but boxer shorts underneath because the camera wouldn't go that low. If I were a news broadcaster, I'd want to remain on good terms with my cameraman. I settled on a collared black shirt, muted blue sweater, and gray jeans. And what was I going to talk about? I've been told that many women like to talk about the 3 F's, friends, family, and fashion. Well, those aren't at the top of my list, but until I think she cares about technology, literature, or investing, let alone politics, I'll avoid those. Maybe I'll just, for starters, build on what she says about family and friends. Like, say something nice about my family or friends. I won't talk fashion. I have nothing to say about that. I always like meeting at a coffee shop. Cheap, quiet, and we can, if needed, end things quickly. And with the first woman, I did. She didn't look anything like her pictures. The only way I knew it was her is when she came up to me and asked, "Hey, are you Scott?" Her picture must have been 10 years old and 30 pounds lighter. Being deceptive is, for me, a deal killer. So after 10 minutes of small talk in my usual wimpy way, I just said, I'm not sure we're quite right for each other. I stuck my hand out to shake her hand goodbye, and that was an unambiguous sign the party was over, and that was that. The next woman was equally a, pardon the expression, quickie. While, as mentioned, I wasn't going to bring up politics on the first date, she did. She asked, "Isn't it great how many people turned up for the anti-Trump pro-immigrant protests?" All it took were my response's first words. Actually, I have mixed feelings, whereupon she got up and blurted, "Thank you," and stormed out, and I had to pay for her latte. The third woman was fine, an acceptable look and temperament and values, yet the feeling wasn't there. I wanted to date someone who, at least in the beginning, made me excited to want to see her again. I reminded myself, better solo than so-so. So I tactfully said, there really is nothing wrong with you, really. I just have this sense that we're not quite right for each other. So, all that effort and nada. Next, I think I'll ask my friends if they know a woman to set me up with. Anyway, that is a Retiree Episode 6 called silversingles.com. As usual, I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. And certainly would welcome you taking a look at any of my 35 books. Probably most relevant is Senior Stories, but all 35 are on Amazon. In any event, I thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.